Welcome back to your favorite channel. It's your boy PBK9s, giving it to you the way I always do. Fair, unbiased, raw, uncut. Some gonna like it, some ain't, man. I appreciate everybody for rocking with the channel. We got some dog talk today to talk about. We're gonna touch on some great topics the brothers wanna speak about. And I'm just gonna give you my opinion on it, man. Big shout out to everybody across this world, across this country that's doing what they gotta do with these pets and these animals. Like I always say, man, let's get into it. I hope everybody having a great Wednesday across the board. It's your boy PBK9s giving it to you uncut. And we full steam ahead. Like I always say, we full steam ahead. You know what I'm saying? First thing I want to speak about, we're gonna speak about the boogie boy dogs as well. You know what I'm saying? We'll speak about them as well. But first thing I want to speak about is light switches. When it comes to these dogs, do light switches still exist? You know what I'm saying? Do light switches still exist? And to some people out there, you may want to know, what is a light switch? You know what I'm saying? Light switches are exactly what I'm saying. Light switches. And this is where a lot of brothers will get rid of great dogs. This is where a lot of brothers will ruin great dogs. You know, back in the days, light switch dogs. Gotta understand, and that's where it goes back to me saying, understanding the line of dogs you got and knowing how to handle each line as their own line. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand some of the things that you may have went through with the Red Boy Jocko stuff. You may not have to go through with these dogs. Some of the things you may have to go through with these dogs, you may not have had to go through with your Red Boy Jocko stuff. Each line you got to handle how you got to handle it. And that's one mistake dogs make. They try to handle all dogs the same. And because your Red Boy Jocko not as spunky as your Eli is at 3 months old, then you go to passing judgment on the dog. You know what I'm saying? Light switch dogs, man. What's it all about? And understanding when you got one. Because we'll think, oh, our dog started up. I look at these puppies y'all be having online different times, and it look good when you know your puppy's 3 and 4 months old and they rolling. 3 months old, 2 months old, you know, a month and a half, and they rolling. But it's what you call light switches. And I done had a couple of them myself. One that I never seen switch back on, and many that I seen on and off light switches. You know, and sometimes light switches are involved with yard dogs, you know, and we're going to get to that. Why I think that, you know what I'm saying? Now, my first time dealing with a dog, what I would consider a light switch, was getting I'm not sure what bloodline it was, but it was a white brindle dog. And the dog was all the way cranked up as a puppy. You know, I seen the dog cur out some high quality bloodline puppies. You know what I'm saying? But the tenacity he had when he was 3 months old, it changed by the time he was 6 and 7 and 8 months old. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the same kind of thump. And then when you put him in front of them same dogs that he probably would have curved out when he was 2 months old, 3 months old, he's no competition for them kind of dogs now. You know, and he never switched back on at all, period. You know, now, I've seen Red Boy Jocko dogs, as well as, you know, you got other lines that do the same exact thing. They show you a few good, you know, like, oh, he ready to go out there and try him. It's time for me to go try him. Because he showed you some good traits or something good that you liked on the yard. Maybe he was acting like he had some spunk in him. And then now you take him somewhere else, and he don't show you none of that spunk, and he go out there and holler like a puppy that's never been started up yet. Light switch dogs. Many people will take that dog and get rid of him. Many people will take that dog, destroy him. They'll take that dog, oh, he gonna do something, and then they go run and throw him on another dog. Then they go run and throw him on another dog, and he still ain't doing nothing. You know, he a light switch. He on and he off, which means he's not turned on yet fully. You know, and a lot of people will misjudge it and thinking because they see him do something on the yard, or they see him do something in a place where he's comfortable at, When you take him out of his comfort zone, then he's not reacting in the same way. Light switch dogs. Um, and you know, that's why I'm never gassed up off of what I see puppies do, and these brothers showing videos of puppies. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, showing your puppies fighting only makes and draws attention to you, the attention you may not be wanting. You know, in the modern day time, when things are going the way they're going, and the system is the way it is, and the laws is the way they are, it's not a good idea to post your puppies online fighting. And that's just my opinion. Like I said, to each his own. Everybody do what they, however they feel like doing. But a lot of times you gotta ask yourself, and that's why I always say to my American brothers, we get gassed up off a lot of these foreign posts, and you don't know what kind of heat it brings to your American property or your American self. You know what I'm saying? Just because, they can do this or they can do that, you don't know who's watching this platform, this group, that group, and then you get into making comments up under this. You're thinking because you didn't put the actual post up there, that actually means something. But when you commenting up under the post, when you saying, oh, let me ask you this. So if you got somebody watching the group, and then you get up under, and they know who you is, but you ain't did nothing wrong yet, but then you get up under the group and start talking about, like bigging up the fighting part, right? You bigging up the fighting part. You didn't make the post, but then you go sell a dog. You can't live on both sides of the street. You can't big up dog fighting over here and then think if you get in any kind of situation that is not gonna lead to dog fighting. You can't sell a dog once you have been publicly seen bigging up dog fighting. You know what I'm saying? And then you want to blame somebody else for what happens to you. You know what I'm saying? You just can't do it. I mean, you can do it, but they got charges for it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and like I said, that shit don't get me impressed when I see them puppies, because too many times I done seen too many puppies that start off and I call them sell tactics. Not sell tactics from the actual owner, but the puppies trying to sell themselves. Because, sometimes you have dogs that stay in that mind frame for the rest of their life. But then you get the ones that you never see that side of that dog again, what you saw when he was 2 months old. Oh man, when he was 2 months old, this dog a year and a half, and you keep referring to what you saw when he was 2 months. Oh, when he was 2 months, he was doing this. Well, what is he doing now? So that's why I always say, man, a lot of these brothers got yard dogs. They show and prove on the yard, but when you take them anywhere, they get spooked, they get scared, they tail go in their ass. You know what I'm saying? What you do about that? A dog that has not lost off the yard against other people's dogs, but when you take him off the yard, he won't do nothing. What would you call that? Is that a dog to keep or a dog to get rid of? Or do you work with them? And I'm not giving no answer. I'm just asking the brothers and sisters down in the chat, because we're going to talk about a lot of that stuff today. And like I said, it's about time to be talking about these dogs with people that actually bulldog, man. Stop mixing up folk who deal with them bullies, band dogs, and all that other stuff. You're mixing them up with real bulldog talk and folk who just get in this game and lying, clearly lying about half the shit they're talking about, Man, listen, it's time to get some real dog talk for some real dog men out here. Big salute to all the real dog men that been giving these brothers and sisters dog talk over the past couple years. Salute to all y'all, man. But it's more of them than it is of us out here. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the brothers that's just getting in the dog game. You know what I'm saying? But you don't be involved and putting yourself in them situations like these brothers out here that want to be considered Mr. William Lightner and JP Kobe and all that other stuff. You don't put yourself in them situations. So I don't handle no brother in that situation. I don't handle no kind of way. You know what I'm saying? But light switches, man, because we're going to get to some topics that we need to talk about, and I need to talk about amongst real dog men and not no phonies and flunkies. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand the dog game, you know. And too many times when they get up here and they talk on these social media platforms, you can pick them apart. They like taking your content and recreating and making content. But what we about to talk about is some real dog talk in a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? Light switch. How many people you know got light switch dogs? How many people you know you seen light switch dogs? How many people lost their money because of a light switch dog that they took out a little too early that wasn't ready yet? You know, he wasn't even fully started up. Some people just get so gassed up when they see the dog show any type of aggression back then. Oh, this dog, okay, he did his thing with that dog, but that dog wasn't nothing. And now they overconfident. You know what I'm saying? Overconfident. That's why I always say some people don't know what mouth is. Some people don't know what gameness is. Some people don't know what a real bulldog is. But on this social media, it allows everybody to be amongst everybody. And I ain't got time for it no more, man. I ain't got time for it no more. I done see these brothers who ain't got no bulldog credentials or bulldog game or bulldog history. A lot of them ain't got no morals. A lot of them don't got no, what they do got, I don't want it around me. I'm gonna say it like that. Don't want it around me, you know. Just like I put in my work, you put in yours. I put in mine when the laws was different. You know what I'm saying? And I quit it, and I'm talking about certain things, trying to keep brothers on a certain page. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever you gotta do. Like I always say, we don't stop nobody over here. See, we gonna get into a man jailed because he jumped on some college students because they shot his dog. We'll get into that in a minute. You know what I'm saying? But first, I want to ask y'all, and this is to my real bulldogs out there, you know what I'm saying, and the brothers who learning about the way the Wild Wild West was back in the days, and the bulldogs that was took to this length. You know, what's so bad about a dog that went 3 hours and stopped? I ask everybody this. I'm not saying that it's not a bad thing. I'm asking you, what's so bad without using the word cur? You see, a cur is a dog that don't go out and do nothing at all. I keep telling brothers, the word cur and 3 hours cannot belong in the same sentence. A dog, this is my opinion. My opinion now, a dog cannot cur out if he's done gave you 3 hours of his time. That's just my opinion. Now, what you want me to act like I'm not a living animal? Act like I'm not a living whatever? I don't breathe air. I don't drink water. You know, my muscles don't get tired. I'm a living. 3 hours. Brothers can't even have sex for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Everybody will get up here, try to be macho, so they'll go all night. We talking about without the drugs and the pills. And a lot of girls don't want you on them humping that damn long. They're like, what you humping that long for? You ain't got me off yet. But you want these dogs to go 3 hours and then you call them a cur because he can't. You know, let's break the boxing 3 minutes down to 3 hours. 3 minutes a round. These brothers can't even fight. Some of these brothers can't make it 12 rounds. Professional fighters, you know. 3 minutes a round, 12 rounds. 3 minutes a round for 10 rounds is 30 minutes. So we got, what, 2 more rounds? So that's 36 minutes. 36 minutes, you trying to compare to 3 hours and you calling me a cur. Can you call any boxer who went in there and fought and gave it his all? You telling me if a boxer go in there and give it his all, he gave you the best fight you ever seen in your life. I'm talking about they in the middle of the ring, toe for toe. And he coming out, he can't, you know he gave it his all. But he can't give no more. And this guy starting to get him. The other guy don't hardly got any more left of him, but he's starting to get him. You telling me you gonna call that guy a cur because he trying to get away now? Because he can't even lift his arms up. He don't want to get knocked out, but he turning his back and you gonna call him a cur? See, that's why I always say, man, the words that we use on certain things can misrepresent certain things and lead people to grab the wrong things. You see, in my opinion, like I always say, I'm addressing this in my opinion. This don't speak for the brothers down in the chat. This don't speak for the brothers that I've heard speak on this on different platforms. This don't speak for none of them brothers. Big salute to all y'all, especially my real bulldoggers. You know what I'm saying? But if y'all got a dog back in them days and I seen you just lose with this dog in 3 hours, I'm not gonna let you get rid of that dog. I'm not gonna do it. Because I know it takes 2 to rumble. Every dog you get on not gonna go for 3 hours. And there's a reason you went for 3 hours for in the first place. There's a reason you went for 3 hours. It's because you had a dancing partner. You know, you had a dancing partner. Every dancing partner ain't gonna be the same. Every time you take that dog out that went for 3 hours, he's not gonna have to be there for no 3 hours. You think you're gonna run across, just say you trying to make it to a grand champion. You went 3 hours on your first one. You think the next 4 gonna be 3 hours? What's the chances on the next 4 that you go into being 3 hours? Even if that dog that went 3 hours didn't show no mouth, he showed he had durability to last for 3 hours, right? What's the chances on you running in another dog that take 3 hours, you know, that before he actually starts showing anything? So my question is, to start this conversation off, what's so bad about a dog that stops in 3 hours? And I'm not saying it's not bad. Let me make that clear again. I'm asking the question, what's so bad about a dog that goes for 3 hours and he stops? This is the only thing I want you to do is answer what's so bad about it. We're going to get to the rest of the parts about it in a few minutes. So don't go into all the other details. Just tell me what's so bad about a dog that stops after 3 hours. You know? And like I said, the word cur, y'all keep bringing the word cur. Cur need to be stopped at 30, 45 minutes. You got dogs who, they full of energy in 30 minutes. They can't, they're trying to get away. They get frustrated. They trying to get away. Them curs. A dog that comes straight out and it's already started up and maybe 5 minutes and he trying to get away, them curs. And like we say, the keep matters. The health matters. But what's so bad about a dog that stopped after 3 hours? And brothers, please don't get my facial expression to get you to thinking I'm talking against getting rid of the dog after 3 hours. I'm asking you a question. But you know how I do it. You know how I do it. Big salute to all my real bulldoggers out there, man. Big salute to J-Bo, Nonstop, you know what I'm saying? City Boy Kennels, Going Hard 1 and 2, you know what I'm saying? Mike and Mo, forget the 1 and 2, you know, brothers got names, brothers ain't numbers. Mike and Mo, big salute to brothers, man. Big salute to the whole Shogun crew, and everybody out there doing the right things with these dogs, man. But what's so bad about it? You know? What's so bad about a dog that stopped after 3? Man, give me that dog. I'm telling you, I don't care who it is. It can be John Demery. It can be you, dog. It can be City Boy. It can be 216. It can be Mario. It can be any of them brothers. You know what I'm saying? It can be Union County, man. Union County. I'm standing around you back in the days, and your dog just went 3 hours, and you about to put him down, or you about to get rid of. What you about to do, dog? Hold on. I ain't gonna even say it like that, because when you start talking like that, then the brother be like, oh, maybe I need to keep this. Yeah, man, go ahead and get rid of him. I'll take him, man. Let me hold him. Let me hold him, man. I'll take him. You ain't got to kill him. You ain't got to get rid of him. And then I'll take that dog, and then now that dog is a grand champion, you know? So, I mean, what's so bad about stopping after 3 hours? Understand this, dog brothers or dog people across this community. You're not going to bump into dogs that can go 3 hours every day. And I'm talking about even if they winning. If they would have been winning the whole show, to make it to the 3 hour mark is not normal. Don't let the dog community get it in your head that making it 3 hours is normal for a game Pitbull. 3 hours is not normal for no living thing of straight action. No living thing. You're never gonna go across any wild animal that's gonna fight for their food for 3 hours. If they haven't put this joker down, you know what I'm saying, and going in for the throat and finishing them off in a certain, they're gonna give up. There's nothing that's gonna stay there for 3 hours. So I'm asking brothers to please give me what makes a dog bad because he stops after 3 hours. And you can't use the word cur because in my opinion, it don't belong there, and I'm willing to take that. That's one statement that I'm willing to sit down at the round table, you know, with a bunch of different dog people, you know, and come to the conclusion, if a dog performs for you for 3 hours, is he a cur? You know, I don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it. It's when you big salute to the brothers that been through all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But this is the question I have for the 3 hour brothers. How many more 3 hour dogs have you had since then? You know? And the thing is, we can always resort back to saying, oh, I had better dogs because they didn't have to go 3 hours. You know, so it's always an out where a dog man can get out from that question I asked. How many 3 hour dogs have you had since then? Yourself. You know? But then any brother can say, I had dogs with mouth. I had dogs with this. I had dogs stopping the dogs in 45 minutes. Dogs ain't got to go 3 hours. So, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to ask somebody that question. There's no way any brother, I'm going to say it like this. There's no way when brothers start talking about 3 hour cur, 30-minute cur is the same thing as a 3 hour cur. You see, there's no way you can compare the two. You know what I'm saying? I keep telling brothers, when you have people who not in the dog game, who haven't bulldog really, and you out here trying to find out stuff, trying to build your brain up, it ain't nothing wrong with trying to gain all the knowledge you can gain. But don't be ashamed of not knowing and get out here and start talking and brothers realize you ain't really did no bulldogging. You know what I'm saying? It sounds silly to say 30-minute cur is the same thing as a 3 hour cur. You can buy 30-minute curs every damn day, all day. You ain't gonna run across no 3 hour cur. It don't exist. A dog that gives you 3 hours is a bulldog. I don't care if he lose. I don't care if he stop on all fours. I don't care how he lose. He gave you 3 hours, that's a damn bulldog. Animals don't do that. You don't get animals that give you 3 hours. When you run across them, you better know what to do with them. You know, back in them days. You mean to tell me I would get rid of a dog that went 3 hours when the whole part of the game is to have a game dog? It's not the finisher dog, right? The name of the game is to be game enough to win. If this dog going 3 hours, why wouldn't I want to get them traits out of that dog? You know how many people breeding dogs that they haven't seen a 3 hour trait in these dogs? They got a little bit of mouth. They seen 45 minutes. But you won't breed a 3 hour dog because he stopped on all fours? No disrespect to the brother, you know, that said that. That's why I say I gotta say, because y'all down in them chats and y'all that want to start stuff and make things up, y'all go take what a person say and be like, oh, somebody talking about something. You know, man, we real bulldogs out here talking. You know what I'm saying? We don't need all the middlemen in between. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, man, 3 hours. 3 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours. 3 hours is starting at 12 o'clock, getting over at 3 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all shows, some of y'all favorite shows come on back to back, maybe 2 or 3 episodes, might be an hour, might be 45, 30 minutes a piece. We still talking, we rolling. You know, 3 hours from 6 to 9, from 9 to 12, from daylight to nighttime. If we start at 6, plenty of sunlight. It'll be nighttime when we over. if we start 4 o'clock in the morning, it's gonna be daylight when we finish. 3 hours is not average, you know. And I you know, just listening to the dog talk, you know what I'm saying? I just can't let 3 hours be average, you know, and sit around and act like 3 hours is average. You know, I've seen all different kind of lines. 3 hours ain't average for no line. I don't care how much red boy you got in that motherfucker. How much, whatever bloodline you got in it. 3 hours ain't average. When you get one that go 3, you got yourself a bulldog. Now, what comes into play is the ego and the embarrassment of the money loss. That's why I said, hey, you get rid of one that went 3 hours and lost you 100 grand. You got to get rid of him, right? But do you got to get rid of one that you lost 500 with and he went 3 hours? Do you get rid of the $500 loss, but he went 3 hours? Do you get rid of him? But you get rid of the one that lost you 100,000. So that's why I tell brothers, we get to the bread, but we ain't get to where the bulldogs was at. When you talking about all that betting and all that shit. Betting don't find bulldogs. You know, bulldogs find bulldogs. And brothers with bulldogs. Because if you know he got a bulldog, he gonna try to prove he got a bulldog. He ain't trying to prove he got the biggest bank account. So I mean, hey, call it how I see it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just let's give a list of this right here. How many 3-hour bulldogs have we ran across throughout our days, no matter the ones we saw or the ones we had? How many 3-hour bulldogs have we even been talking about on these shows? You know? Just because we may have a few hundred that we could talk about, you mean to tell me we could say a few hundred 3-hour dogs is enough to call a 3-hour dog normal? If we spread all the 3-hour dogs out that brothers can give us the stories from across the country, and we got a couple hundred, how many dogs been sold in this country since 1990s? Millions. 3-hour dogs ain't normal. You know what I'm saying? 3-hour dogs ain't normal. Now, to one of my biggest points, to when we know we talking to dog men and we not talking to brothers who ain't got no bulldog in them at all. You know what I'm saying? He ain't even went and did too much backyard shit, if any. You know, this is what we start talking about. This is what brothers don't bring up because they have a bulldog. So you want to know to ask these questions and speak on these questions. Now I ask you, what's so bad about a dog that stopped in 3 hours? Because I know anything living, once you get to a certain point, your body get limp. And I'm gonna show y'all a picture of another dog that's got too much weight off of it. Y'all see, man, this social media got a lot of folk thinking, and they bring these skinny ass dogs out here with no work in it, no work in them at all, and they show a little bit of muscle and a little bit of rip and all kind of shit, and they post it and act like and want it to fit them shoes of people who actually work their dogs, for people who actually made these dogs look a certain kind of way. You know what I'm saying? What I'm talking about now is 3-hour dogs. They curves, they ain't curves. Like I said, a 3-hour dog will never be a curve in my eyes. I don't care how he lost. Now, my thing is, when he went 3 hours, did he go 3 hours straight? Or did the scratching start in 30 minutes? Did the scratching start in 20 minutes? See, this is things people who never bulldog bring up. Don't bring up, rather. Did this dog go 3 hours, no turns? It take 2 to tangle. No matter which dog win that show, if they go 2 hours, no turning, bulldogs. Now, it might not fall your way. It may not fall your way. But you can't say that wasn't a bulldog there. No turning. 3 hours. That's a curve. That's why a lot of y'all don't got great dogs. You done lost the dog. You know why we always say you get one of them dogs throughout your lifetime? Many of y'all already lost that dog because you think in that certain mind frame. Let me get rid of this dog. He ain't turned in the whole 3 hours. Went 3 hours and then he stopped on foes. He turned his back. He tried to get out. So now you put him down. You know, any dog man, I'm asking any dog man this. A dog that go 3 hours, and he loses. Would you get rid of them? Only the ones that want to lie. Only the ones that, you know, and I'm gonna say it like this, right? I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna say it like this. Some people will get rid of them. Everybody got their own little chopping block how they do it. Some people get rid of them. But if you're thinking for the future, and not because you got a crushed ego right there at that moment, not because you mad at that moment, not because he gave you all that and you thought you was gonna win, and then he turned around and stopped on top. Light switch. That ain't really light switch. That's called stopping on top. You know what I'm saying? He stopped on top. Okay. 3 hours, man. I can't see a brother saying they can breed 3-hour dogs anytime. Now, I know them Big John dogs is bred to go. Gameness. Red boy style, back in the days. But the thing is, no living thing can go for 3 hours without a whole proper system. You know what I'm saying? A dog straight off the chain not gonna go for no damn 3 hours. And if he go for 3 hours and lose, is he a cur? It's so many things that can go wrong in a keep that can make that dog lose. That's why sometimes they do say your dog better off just coming straight off the chain than getting in the keep. Some of you brothers getting to feeding this and shooting this and injecting this and giving them this, and the dog done became weaker. So what's the difference between a dog that go 3 hours and stop and a dog that started scratching at the 15-minute mark and it started scratching at 15-minute mark and it went 3 hours and he stopped? There's no difference between them two dogs. Dog went 3 hours, no turning at all. There's no reason to scratch, no reason to touch these dogs. Leave them down in the middle. Neither dog scratch, neither dog turn. Now I'm gonna be real with you. A lot of y'all dog brothers, you see the other dog ain't turning, and you starting to see, okay, neither dog turn. You know, they're going in that 2 hour mark. Neither dog turn yet. Many doggers, see, I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of these brothers, they don't like to be honest with you when they come talking about these dogs. Many doggers, once they see their shit starting to go over that extreme mark, you kind of want to get the scratching started, right? Because you want to give your dog time enough to rest in that corner. There's no resting in that middle. So now you want to give him time to rest. A little 20 seconds, 30 seconds, or whatever you're getting. It's time. Catch his breath. Get out of the hole he was in, maybe. Or get out of a bad position. Maybe he was fanged or something. You know? But if we're going to talk curs, let's talk curs and what a cur really is. You know what I'm saying? Not a 3 hour dog. You know, more times than none, the 3 hour dog is on the bad end of the stick, getting put down or getting called a no good dog because of the financial situation that was on that dog. Not saying talking about no particular situation, just talking about in general, man. There's no way you can take a dog and we hook $500 and you hook for the 6-week keep. There's no way a dog can go 3 hours. The dog probably won't even make it 3 hours because we don't got enough money on it for you to lose that dog. You know, once you start getting that 2 hour mark, 3 hour mark, the body comes to the point of no return. You know what I'm saying? If you don't got a proper get back game, you might win the show, but you're gonna lose the war. You're gonna lose the overall. Your dog gonna die because it went too far. It gave all it can give. Don't know how to stop, but his body shutting down on him. You know? So what y'all want a dog that his heart can pump, his heart telling him to go, his brain telling him to go, but then when his heart stop pumping the way it need to pump, it's pumping too much this, or it ain't pumping enough oxygen in. You know, y'all want that dog just to go off of his brain. And even if he can't use his legs, even if he can't use his back legs, his heart is racing. He can barely breathe. You pick him up, his body limp. He ain't got no life in his body, but you want him to still scratch. And because he don't scratch, you call him a bad dog. And that's why I say it's plenty bad dogs that were really good dogs, that were called bad dogs, that got put down and never was given, a chance because of embarrassment. You know, more good dogs are put down over the last 20 years. More good dogs were put down over embarrassment than over because they really were sorry dogs. Because like I said, you ain't gonna run across no 3-hour dog here every single day. You had that same 3-hour story to tell 30 years later. Oh man, I remember I had a 3-hour dog. Oh, I had a 4-hour dog. You know what I'm saying? These brothers conversating about 3 and 4 and 5-hour dogs, and they ain't never even bulldog a day in their damn life. Convinced. I'm convinced. Oh man, dog went 4 hours, he a cur. Cur is a cur. Man, that's the fairy tale talk with the fairy tale dog channels. You know what I'm saying? That's why they can't never get up. That's why every 6 months, them boys do the same damn thing. You know, they do the same thing, and I ain't calling your name out. You know who your channels is. Every 6 months, you try to up your channel. You throw 2 or 3 videos out, and you can't get nothing rising. You get a group of people up talking, you can't get nothing rising. You ain't got nothing to stand on. I mean, shit. And I don't give a damn about you being mad because I say that, man. Fairy tale out here. You know what I'm saying? Not talking about what these real dog brothers talking about. I'm talking about when you let all these brothers in be in your conversation and they never bulldog before and they voicing opinions out here and these younger brothers listening to this bullshit, working 12 damn dogs at one time, listening to this bullshit, talking about doing this and doing that, and what these products doing, and they ain't doing it just to sell a product. Man, listen here, man. This dog game is damn near fugazi. You know, damn near fugazi. Everybody want to stand on something, You ain't standing on nothing. You just want to make it look like you standing on something, man. That's why I tell any dog brother, man, do your thing just like I always do my thing. I don't worry about what they talk about. Ain't none of them hitting on shit any damn way. They ain't got shit going on with them, and all they can do is show a damn dog on Facebook on a damn dog picture. You know what I'm saying? That's all they can do, and get down in the chat talking about a bunch of bullshit. And you wouldn't believe, my brothers, how many of these folk don't even got dogs. Once you realize and keep that shit in your head, man, some of these folk don't even got dogs. The other ones never even bulldog before, but they want to troll you about something. Oh, you don't got champions. How many times a month y'all gonna try to get me to say I got champions in my yard? It's about the 3rd time this month that y'all done came at me with how many champions you got. He don't got no champions in his yard. Y'all just keep doing the same shit over and over. Throwing names, throwing rocks, saying this person doing this, saying this person doing that. But when we give you the receipts of certain things, you ignore it. So we just ignore y'all flunkies. You can't stop what brothers out here doing. You can't stop the right. You can't stop the legal. You can't stop the positive. The good gonna always outweigh the bad. So why you want to type and talk all kind of shit? Because I know y'all should be down in the chat talking crazy shit by now. You know what I'm saying? Salute to them real G's down in the chat, them real ladies down in the chat. And y'all hit that like button up, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. You know? But like I said, what's the difference between a dog that went 3 hours and never turned and a dog that started the scratching at 15 minutes? but went 3 hours and still had the same result. How many of y'all done kept 45-minute curves, but you out here talking about getting rid of a 3-hour curve? that lets me know you really haven't bulldog. That's why I keep saying, man, there's certain things these brothers say in these comments, and when they comment and talking to real bulldoggers, and they get to talking, I mean, you just a rookie, dog. Like I said, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it. And when you understand that, you'll be all right as well. Now, I will say this. I'm not sure if Mellow Yellow is show ready, but I can guarantee you she box ready. You know what I'm saying? And I always say that, man. I'm not the one to say I always knew how to put muscles on a dog, rip a dog up. I don't make a dog look like they're in shape. I pull a dog and get them in shape for real. You know what I'm saying? So big shout out to everybody that supported me in the Samurai Digital Dog Show and Mellow Yellow. You know what I'm saying? Big salute to all y'all, man. And I will say this to the brother that I was competing against. You know, no disrespect, my brother, when from the things I say in my comments, but I don't feel like you deserve the right to even have a comment about the way Mellow Yellow look. You can say, oh, that's all you got, this and that. It don't matter, dog. I showed up to the occasion. Everything you say about Mellow Yellow, as far as how she look, and you were supposed to show up, you can't say that no more, dog. You lost the rights for all that. Now, that don't got nothing to do with you rocking with me in my channel or none of that type shit. You know what I'm saying? But as far as Mellow Yellow look like she could be looking better, or she could look this or look that, you don't have the right to talk about that, dog. You know what I'm saying? I mean, of course I can't stop you, you know, but you should, you know, what would I look like commenting about your dog when I didn't show up to the match? You know what I'm saying? What would I look like commenting, oh, Bella look like this, or Bella look like that, or this or that, or this or that, when I didn't show up to the match? You gotta accept that, dog. That's what you did. You wanted to ride with the bunch, and then when it's over, you roll with the bunch for a day or two, and then decided you wanna fly back and then try to do the damn show. And it don't work like that, dog. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get what you want. That's what you want. You get it, you know, get it how you live. That's how you living. So I mean, your opinion don't matter, dog. You don't show up to the occasion. When it comes to competition, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to giving your word don't matter. I done took your word for on an 8-week and you backed out on it. You know? So I mean, shit. Hey, like I said, man, real bulldoggers and real bulldogs gonna always be and do what they gotta do and always gonna rise above the occasion, dog. You know what I'm saying? It ain't hard to weed out the fake. You know, so it ain't hard to weed out the wannabes. You know what I'm saying? I could have easily just did my podcast and brought my dog in natural. You know what I'm saying? I gave it the benefit of the doubt. Let's get this thing popping. But we ain't dealing with real doggers out here all the time. You know what I'm saying? Everybody don't got the same vision when it comes to their dogs. You know? That's why I always say, man, I like to get my dogs to the right people. You know what I'm saying? Get my dogs to the right people. Like, imagine if I would have got one of my dogs to Marcel and he ain't doing shit with him. Period. You know what I'm saying? What the purpose of him having a damn dog? Just to say he breeding? I don't want my dogs to go to somebody just to say they breeding my dog. You know what I'm saying? I want folk to do something with it. Make a name for that dog. You know? Don't just turn him to a couch potato. I don't breed for couch potatoes. I breed for working dogs. High quality working dogs. You know? So, I mean, hey, man, like I said, we just keep it going, keep it rolling. And like I said, I got a question. Y'all ain't answered. What's the difference between a 3-hour no-turn dog and a 3-hour dog that starts scratching in 15 minutes? The boys who be faking like they know about dogs and all that, they don't understand what a no-turn dog is and a dog that started scratching in 15 minutes. You know? So let me ask you. You keep the dog that win The dog that starts scratching at 15 minutes because he made a turn or the other dog made a turn, you keep him when he went in, let's say, 2 hours. He went in 2 hours, you keep him. He started scratching in 15 minutes, made a turn or whatever. All right. Some people consider that turn a bad move. You know, some people call it a strategy. Some people call it a bad move. But you keep the 2 hour dog that went, but the dog that go 3.5 hours, no turn, 3 hours straight, no turn, you get rid of him. I don't know, man. I'm just asking my brothers and sisters down in the chat, man. Like I said, I hope y'all had a great day today, tonight, having a great evening, having a great morning, you know. But it's just some questions that need to be asked about this 3 hour stuff. And so many factors play into 3 hours. You got to have a man who can get a dog to that level. You know what I'm saying? That's why the brother said about the keep a long time when the conversation first started. The keep gonna matter. You worry about your bulldog occur, can you even get him to make it that far and to survive after he make it that far? See, that's what a good keep gonna do. A good keep gonna make sure he survive when it's done. Or got a better chance of surviving when it's done, even if he win. Got to get your fluids and your IVs and all that. He might not be as limp as other dogs may be that got dried out, a little too dry. They were dried out and they were looking good for a picture in a confirmation show, but they're a little too dried out to be going 2 hours. Big difference. Big difference. You know, what makes a 3 hour dog that stops a bad dog? That's the first question I ask y'all, brothers and sisters. What makes that dog so bad? And what area of South Carolina, what area of the United States can you find these 3 hour dogs? You know, the West Coast, the Mid, or the East Coast? Where can you find these dogs that you can build your yard up off of 3 hour dogs? And I'm not knocking no answer. No answer is wrong. Besides the ones that say the cur is a cur 10 minutes, 30 minutes, same thing as 3 hours. That's wrong. I don't care what nobody say. I'll stand on that and get up there and argue my debate about it on anybody's channel. 3 hours and 30 minutes is not the same. But the way I break it down right now, I shouldn't have to get on nobody's channel to explain it because I'm explaining it now. You know? There's no way you can put them in the same class unless you're dealing with people like band dog breeders and people with the mixed pit bulls and all that and don't know about the game and getting up here talking a bunch of foolishness. You know how many brothers done studied out dogs that made it past an hour and some change? They gave it a good game try, but they still lost. But them brothers studied the dog out. Oh, he went hour and 15, he went hour and 30, hour and 25. And they still studied them out because they seen something in them. Dogs don't just go them long periods of time. When you really bulldog, you know 5 minutes seem like an hour. 10 minutes, it seems like you've been there for an hour already. And you only been there for 10 minutes. I promise you, anybody who never bulldog before, you look at 10 minutes like the 10 minutes when we on these shows or the 10 minutes, that ain't the same 10 minutes. 10 minutes of bulldogging feels like eternity. You know? So when we start talking about 3 hours, you're talking about on another level, man. Another level that's not achievable just by any bulldog or just by any dog. I can be the hellified bulldog. I can be one of the best bulldogs around and get a dog that I bring the most out of. And I can't get 3 hours out of him. Even when I work him. And in his keep, he can max out at 2.5, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. So now it goes back to, is this dog or is it the keep that's making him go 3 hours? The dog wouldn't have went no more than an hour, 2 hours and a half on his own. But with this keep in him, he can go 3 hours, 4 hours. So how can I get rid of the dog when it wasn't all his fault? It wasn't all his effort that even got him to the 3 hours. I had to put effort into that. If I wouldn't have gave him the keep he had, he wouldn't have made it to 3. Maybe, you know? So, I mean, everybody look at it different, man. I just know, me, myself, personally, an animal that competes in any competition for 3 hours straight is, you know, an animal you might need to look at investing in if you in that type of stuff. You know, it just, sometimes you gotta separate the real from the bullshit. Now, getting rid of a dog because he lost in 3 hours, that ain't bullshit. That's your own, you know, your own chopping block, how you do your chopping system. But to hear a brother who never bulldog before, or a brother who really have no bulldog credentials, get up and try to knock a 3 hour dog and put it in the same category as a 30-minute cur? Nah, I can't do that. Y'all had a dog game out here moving like bullies in the next 10 years. You know, all you want is mouth any damn way. Why you worrying about 3 hours and all kind of shit? All you need to be worrying about is 15 minutes. All you looking for is mouth. If you gotta go 3 hours, you ain't got no damn mouth. Everybody like different things. What I may like, it may be totally different what the next brother like. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say there's no real answer. It's just whatever your opinion is. What makes a 3 hour dog that stop on 4s bad? What makes him bad? You know what I'm saying? And then what's the difference between a dog that go 3 hours without turning and a dog that started scratching in 15 minutes and went 3 hours? Both of them stopped. But he had time to rest. This other one didn't. He went 3 hours non-stop. No water, no none of that. No pumping them back up, shaking them up, getting the life back into them. No, none of that. 3 hours straight. You know how many videos I can do in 3 hours? How much editing I can do in 3 hours? I done did a video. I done edited the video. I done uploaded it to the YouTube channel. You know, 3 hours. It's a long time, man. You know what I'm saying? A long time. You know, and if you're gonna preserve the breed right, the breed was meant for gameness. The breed was known because they would stay down. You know what I'm saying? They would stay down when other animals wouldn't, when other breeds of dogs wouldn't. The dog would stay down. The Pitbull is not known because, they got a hard bite. Since when have the Pitbull been known because of the hard bite? You don't hear none of the people that give you the stories from the 1900s talking about, the dog with a massive bite, the dog with a massive bite. They say the dog with a massive gameness. The dog just won't stop. He just keep going. That's the whole point of the game. You know? Now, while I'm asking you what's so bad about a dog that stopped at 3 hours, I'm just gonna go off the head and try to find the things that's good about a dog that stopped in 3 hours. You know, for one, you went 3 hours against your opponent, which I said it takes 2 to tangle, which means he's just as good as you is if he went 3 hours. You went 3 hours with your opponent, that means you figured out a way to stay out of trouble somehow or another. You see? Just like I said, all his shows won't be 3 hours because he's going to go against somebody that's going to put him in trouble early. And he may beat him, but he may have to finish it differently. may last 30 minutes, may last 15 minutes, may last 45 minutes, may last an hour. He may learn that all he got to do is just don't put too much pressure on this dog. Just outlast him. He gonna stop. The dog will realize all I gotta do is just stay in there, stay out the way of danger, and this other dog gonna stop. It don't matter if it's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, because he used to going 3 hours already. So he may get that in his head as well, you know. And that's something that you don't really want. Far as it's smart because he understands that he can last, but you don't want him to depend on that last that he has, that everlasting goal that he has. You know, he know he got it, but he don't got to depend on it. So a 3-hour dog, what's good? He learned how to stay out of trouble for 3 hours. You know he gained because he's still going. He haven't turned yet. A dog that goes over an hour without turning, in my opinion, is considered a straight, you know, a good dog. Not saying he's a good bulldog for the overall picture, but if he go an hour without turning, you know, he there for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? He there for a purpose. And like I said, that don't mean he gonna win. That don't mean he's a good bulldog. 1 hour and 3 hours is two different things. See, my thing is, I'm just not gonna let brothers take that 3-hour thing and flash it and fling it all around like it's 30 minutes, like it's an hour. Two different things, man. Two different things. And when brothers have dogs that went in them 3-hour marks, those should be them great stories to listen to. You know what I'm saying? Because you ain't gonna hear them all the time. I don't give a damn how great the dog is. Mayday any of them. Yeah, he may have had, how long have he ever went in his grand champion? Oh, he went hour and 45 minutes out of all the matches, the longest one he had went. I'm not talking about Mayday, I'm talking in general. He went an hour and 45 minutes. Okay, he did 6 shows. Oh, he went an hour and so, as long as one was an hour and so. You got grand champions that never went, like I said, never went past 45 minutes to an hour. Tremendous dogs. So a 3-hour dog deserves to be kept on a certain pedestal. You know what I'm saying? If you get tired, what are you gonna do? You're gonna run. When you get tired, you run. You're not a cur because you run. You smart because you learning how to survive. The dummies stay there and get killed. You know, and this the thing. 3 hours, once you went 3 hours, one dog still had to turn, unless the turn been started way long time ago. You know, that's why I say brothers speaking 3 hours that never bulldog before, but you don't know what kind of 3-hour dogs these is that we talking about. Is this dude talking about a 3-hour dog that didn't turn, or a 3-hour dog that did turn? Did he turn in 45 minutes? Did he turn in an hour and 10 minutes? When did he turn? Big thank you to all the brothers down in the chat, all the sisters down in the chat, anybody that be rocking with me, anybody that supports from afar, you know, because everybody ain't got to be down in the chat and everybody don't like to do the upfront stuff. Big salute, big shout out to everybody that supports me, man. You know, it's your boy K9s giving it to them fair, uncut, raw, and unbiased the way I always do. Y'all have a great night, great evening, great morning, and we out.